Hey. So we're trying out a new thing. We're gonna do a thing where I kind of speak about various topics. And if you want to join, feel free to join, and no shame in tagging along. I always sit down and I'm always like, I'm gonna speak about a thing, and that doesn't work. There's so much going on in the human mind, and then whenever it comes to presenting it in the form of the English language, it typically doesn't manifest. At least for me, it is one thing to feel something, and it is another thing to express something. And I have to say, I've had a really good first few weeks back at college. I have felt fulfilled, I have felt happy, I've felt unpleasant emotions too, and I've been able to accept those emotions. I went through one day, the first Wednesday back at school, where I had a truly scary time because I unfortunately had a panic episode that night, but I was able to throw everything at the wall and see whatever sticks. I took a cold shower, I did wall sits, which my therapist recommended to help regulate your nervous system in the event of panic, and basically tell my nervous system that I am safe and that I am okay. It seems like a lot of the issues that I face are regarding that feeling of safety. And I think that when people are anxious, they have this threat sensitivity. In their environment, they're sensing that something could be off. It's part of how human beings evolve to survive. You've heard the whole thing where it's like evolution, what evolution did is no longer necessary for modern society or whatever. It's an old story. It's an old exhausting story. Unfortunately, it appears that it is a true story. And there are a lot of absurd things occurring in life. A lot of absurd stuff. My dog over here, as you can see, pooped on my carpet. Yay. Yippee! That was absurd and crazy. I'm dealing with stress at work. It's absurd. The pressure that I am both faced with and also the pressure that my brain is putting out there. Those two things together are absurd. Panic, anxiety out of nowhere. It's absurd. It doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. There's some theory about the universe. It's like absurdism or whatever. The idea is that there's no common thread about it. It is all just out there and insane. It doesn't make sense, and there's no common story, no common narrative. And to some people that can seem very depressing. And I think to me, however, it actually is wonderful because our subconscious minds crave negativity. We want it. We need it because that's how we have evolved to survive. Okay, I just realized that my hair might look weird. I don't know if I look bad. Do I look bad, guys? Please tell me. Please tell me that I look ugly if I do. Please bully me. Actually, no, I'm just kidding. Don't bully me. And then I start thinking about broader activism stuff. You can probably see my shirt too. My food does not scream because I'm vegan. I think the fundamental philosophy of veganism is causing unnecessary harm is not morally permissible. And then I start thinking, wait a minute, hold the phone. What other areas of my life do I cause unnecessary harm? And what counts as harm? Is the act of me not doing something, can that be called causing harm? Is it morally permissible to unnecessarily withhold some good that you could do, right? Is the philosophy consistent with good? I think that some people, interestingly, would change their mind about this and say that, well, no, you're not obligated to go do something good. You're just not obligated to not do something bad, right? I'm very curious about that standpoint, but I am compelled to agree with Peter Singer on this, that philosophy remains consistent. And in that case, I have some work to do, right? So in other news, if I'm doing this sort of blog thing where I talk to you about my life, I've had a really difficult half week so far because something happened this last Wednesday that kind of dysregulated my nervous system. That may have carried forward. I'm not entirely sure. I cannot know. One difficult thing happens and then your threat sensitivity goes up, and then as a coping mechanism, you therefore become even more threat sensitive to the things around you. The question ultimately is how do you reduce the frequency, the duration, and the intensity of those experiences as soon as you possibly can, right? And when you are in that state, your brain is literally it's not in a position to think rationally about how to accomplish that goal. And so it's great to have a game plan. A radical acceptance, accepting your organic experiences as they arise. So if you feel anxious, good, I'm a human. Of course I'm gonna feel anxious. Right now I feel a little anxious. I'm glad that I feel anxious. Why? Because it demonstrates that I'm a human being who allows themselves to feel human things. I don't think there's really another way to live. Yeah. I think I've fully exhausted my thoughts here. If you like this style of video, let me know. If you don't, let me know that you hate it. Anyways, toodaloo.